My name is Laura Madokoro, and I'm a historian and associate professor in the Department of History at Carleton University, which is located on traditional Algonquin territory. And I also teach in the Migration and Diaspora Studies program. Sanctuary in Pieces is historical work. It's a project that was animated by contemporary discussions around the politics of refuge and the role that cities like Montreal have played in declaring themselves sanctuary cities. This project takes a slightly different approach and looks at the history of sanctuary, the offer of protection to refugees and migrants over the course of 200 years. And so it really places a lot of emphasis on the role of community and moves our thinking around sanctuary and protection away from the state, away from municipal politics, and asks questions about religion, communities of faith, and other forms of community that have come together over at different historical junctures to provide refuge and protection to people in need. So my path or my trajectory as an academic and a historian is definitely a meandering one. And it's one that combines very formative experiences, growing up in a family where both sides of the family were marked by histories of internment and displacement, and then being able to feed that into a professional career that involved working in an archives and then graduate training in history and migration studies. And all of this means that I'm very interested in these questions of forced migration, the impact of displacement across generations, and then really trying to connect contemporary issues with these longer historical trajectories. Sanctuary in Pieces is a book that I wrote because I was really interested in the role that non-state actors have played in changing political, cultural, and social norms around refugee protection, around migrant justice. And for me, it was really important to understand that, we sometimes talk about Canada as a humanitarian nation or Montreal as a humanitarian place. And those stories come from somewhere, and often they come from the hard work of citizens and non-citizens. And so Sanctuary in Pieces, because it's elaborating a long history of sanctuary, and it's thinking of sanctuary in really expansive terms, so not just narrow definitions that sometimes just involve refugees. Looking at sanctuary historically means that we can actually see how all kinds of individuals have sought forms of protection and refuge over the years. And so I was really interested in writing the book because I wanted to talk about the hard work that goes into these sort of state narratives about being humanitarian nations, humanitarian places. And I really wanted to draw attention to the hard work of communities in making those narratives possible.